Unscripted.
You know, when all the smoke cleared and everything was kind of out there with what the Xbox Series X could do, what the PlayStation 5 could do, you know, it wasn't really the pundits, the influencers, or, you know, or the wannabes that ended up being right. You know, it was just the average people like me who kind of looked into things and said, hey, you know, if you just kind of simply read what's going on and read what this developer says or read what that developer says, it was easy enough to kind of decipher what was going on. It's like I could have sat there and been like, well, you know, and came up with a bunch of fancy words to make it sound like the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X would be pretty close in comparison in specs and performance. But, you know, it's much easier just to take a developer's word for it and say, hey, this developer is saying that this is the least amount of difference in power between these two consoles, and, you know, let's just take its word for it. I mean, we could sit there and talk about deltas and this, but the average person isn't going to know what that even means. So, you know, I think it's very, like, have you ever heard this, the term, keep it simple, stupid? Like, that's probably the best way to go about this kind of stuff, right? You know, I do feel like we're in a sort of a situation where so many people just try to lord over others based on, you know, pretty much based on kind of what's going on with technology. They think they know so much more because they know some words or whatever. You know, I always feel like sometimes when I watch a video, that's one of the things that I see a lot. You know, it's like they constantly act like they're so much better or smarter than other people. Like, honestly, just keep it simple. Like, people aren't as dumb as they would make them out to think. So I do think that that's something that people should kind of learn. And I think Sony as a company knows that when it comes to their consoles. You know, when it comes to the PlayStation, they did such a fantastic job with that. They kept it very simple. They kept it kind of very much to where everybody knew what was going on. You know, they have two versions. They have a version with a, you know, without a disk drive and one with one. There was no other differences there. Microsoft took a more complicated way about things, and will it bite them in the end? I mean, I guess we'll kind of find out. I think keeping it simple makes all the difference in the world, and now you have developers kind of echoing that, and this could definitely pay off more for Sony in the future. I mean, we've already seen instances where that's the case, and so this should be a very interesting video. Of course, Xbox fanboys aren't happy about this. They're, you know, this developer is now quote unquote biased, and, you know, we have to kind of deal with that situation. But I always just find that kind of stuff to be nonsense and to be more funny than anything else. But I wanted to get started anyway. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here, Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. You know, it means a lot to me personally, and if you guys are looking for a way to help out a little crummy channel like mine, the best way to do it, simple like, definitely goes a long way. You can maybe consider subscribing, hit the bell so you're notified of everything as soon as it drops. I do at least one video a day. You know, I got some cool stuff, you know, coming out or whatever. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes about. But anyway, shout out to all the old subscribers, new subscribers, and everyone in between. You are amazing and wanted in these parts for sure. Much appreciated. So anyway, like I said, Sony keeps things very simple, very concise, very clear. You know, and I think you got to kind of do that these days, right? Like, when you think about how things are kind of done, Microsoft, on the other hand, took sort of a different approach with the Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, and, you know, is that going to pay off for them? Like, we don't really know. Like, I honestly don't know. I think by the time you factor in the expanded memory and stuff like that, you're looking at kind of a wash between the S and the X. So, you know, maybe at the short term, like, people could do that if, you know, that they were looking to get into it at a cheaper price. But at the end of the day, we'll, you know, does it really matter? I guess we'll have to wait and see. With that being said, I thought this was funny because Joseph Fares, you guys know him, outspoken guy, did a heck of an interview a couple years ago on the Game Awards where he was cussed and stuff like that. He's actually known throughout the gaming industry for his outbursts, such as when he went on the stage during the 2017 Game Awards to famously proclaim "F the Oscars." Well, in a new interview published today, he threw another rant of a kind against the Xbox Series naming pattern picked by Microsoft, and this is what he had to say. Of course, I'm going to link this. You guys can check it out and let me know what you think. He says, "I don't really care about consoles. I care about games. Of course, I wish we could have looked more into new consoles for It Takes Two. I'm just happy they are more powerful because it takes a lot of time when a console is not really powerful enough. But what I like about the new generation is that they are powerful, that we can focus on them. But to be honest with you, they came in so late in our production. Of course, it's going to look better on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, but we didn't really have time to adjust them and make the PlayStation 5 version special, or the Xbox blah blah, whatever they call the Xbox Series. That's an effing confusing name. What the F is going on with Microsoft? They're losing it, man. What the F is going on? Like Series X, Series S, X, Mex, next. I mean, who knows? Come on, madness. Call it the Microsoft box and that's it. I don't know. It's total effing mess. Trust me. Even them, they're confused in their offices. What is this? XS? I don't know what the F. So he did say the game is called Take-Two, and it's sort of like a way out. It's also mandatory co-op for 2 persons, developed by Hazelight Studios. But again, this is an instance of a developer not being happy with like the sort of naming instances and stuff like that Microsoft put out there. Now, is that such a huge issue? I don't really know if it's an issue, but like, can it be confusing? I have seen a little bit of confusion sort of around this, so we'll have to see sort of how that works out and exactly what happens long term. But yeah, it is very interesting and sort of kind of funny, I guess, to see another developer sort of call Microsoft out on this. For me personally, I'm in the know a little bit because this is sort of what I do for a hobby and sort of for fun, talk about video games and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I definitely know about this stuff. But when it comes to the average person or the average mom or the average dad or something, or brother or sister, I don't think that they would know, to be quite honest. So yeah, it's like, especially when it's not the only thing out there, right? So what I mean by that is there's also the Xbox One S that's still out there, and then there's the Series S, and then some people might have stock of a One X out there still. So yeah, it's like just really sort of an interesting sort of situation that we see out there. And for me personally, I said that it could be slightly weird, or it could be slightly looked at as something a little bit off, you know what I mean, or confusing. And I think that's exactly kind of what we're getting. We're sort of getting that type of situation. So again, I do hope that that we get some kind of thing sooner rather than later. But let's just be real. I mean, Microsoft has always been kind of weird with with the naming of stuff, so I do hope that that's something that they kind of get fixed and kind of get worked out before too long, because at the end of the day, this is something that clearly is something that really needs to kind of get looked at and stuff like that. So I hope that that's something that they kind of work out sooner rather than later. Again, I think you have to just kind of give props to Sony for being able to keep it kind of simple to where you kind of knew what you were getting. Well, to be honest with you, for $100 more than a Series S, you can get, a console in the PS5 digital that is like over twice the power and has more storage and more pretty much everything, and better controller, everything. You know what I mean? So I think that that's very simple and sort of easy for people to sort of understand, whereas I think Microsoft's isn't nearly as simple or easy to understand. So I mean, we'll have to wait and see at the end of the day how that kind of all works out. But it is very interesting to see people's reactions to one over the other, you know what I'm saying? So again, it's just one of those situations, keep things very simple and concise, and I think you'll see good things happen. We've seen some really good thing, some interesting stuff come out, and I mean, obviously bad stuff will happen along the way as well, but time will tell exactly kind of what's happening long term or not. So yeah, we'll have to see. Like I said, there's always something kind of on the table happening. Again, the PS5 sold extremely well, and the PS4 sold extremely well in 2020, so maybe things are there's something to this whole keeping it easy thing. So for instance, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales was the only game left in the top 20 for December software, but overall Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2 were in the top 10, with Miles Morales at number 12, and Final Fantasy VII Remake landed at the number 10 position. So according to the NPD, PlayStation 5 finished 2020 as the number 2 best-selling console in dollar sales. So again, this console came on sale in November, and in a month and a half became the number 2 selling console. Like, can you imagine that? That's just, to me, that's just incredible. The desire to get that, the fans' desires to get a hold of that has just been incredible, and I love to see that. I love to see console gaming just kind of take it to that next level and just kind of be that incredible. Like, it's honestly just amazing to see, and I absolutely love that. So hopefully we continue to see that in the future, where there's that demand and that want for these consoles. You know, I love to see it. So I would love to hear your guys's input on this, and you know, you can let me know. Twitter at @the_Crapgamer, Xbox Live MOH space Crapgamer, PSN just Crapgamer. And again, I would just really appreciate everybody's feedback. Maybe take a minute to consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Take it easy with each other, game on, all that good stuff. It's been a fantastic time doing this. I enjoy doing it, and I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for enjoying another one of my videos. Like I said, take a minute to consider subscribing, all that good stuff. Thank you. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. Rack 'em up. Game on. Crapgamer out.
Unscripted.